with all the activities, the fun activities that are going to have, that all students are going to have, either residential or online. And I am a graduate from a BA in English language from the university. It's a Mexican university. I'm originally from Mexico. So I graduated from a public university in the state of Hidalgo, and I did my master's in modern languages here at Ole Miss. And I had the chance to work in other universities here in the US. So something I absolutely enjoy from the summer. I was not an undergraduate here, but I can see all the students coming through our programs, and I absolutely enjoy the growth that they have from the very beginning, from the very first time that they show up on campus to the last day when they leave. And we see the growth personally and also academically. And we would love to see you here and see that growth. And whenever you leave, you will be pretty much ready for college. You will go back to your last year of high school thinking, this is just not enough for me. I'm ready for the next chapter. Welcome, everybody.
And I'll turn it over to Lo McGee.
I'm muted. Hey guys, I'm Lo McGee. I am the marketing specialist for pre-college programs. So I handle all of the social media accounts and any kind of marketing that you see. I am behind that. I will most likely have a camera in my hands this summer, kind of being the paparazzi. So you'll see me, but I will be behind a camera taking photos of all of you. So a little bit about me. I graduated from the University of Tennessee. Go Vols. Sorry. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, so not that far away from Oxford. But my husband went to Ole Miss and brought us back here after we had a child, just to be close to family. And my favorite thing for, I guess when I was in college was the time that I spent as a DJ at the radio station in Knoxville. I was a DJ, if you can see it. But yeah, that was so fun to me, and just getting to know people that way in kind of the community that the radio had. So yeah, this is my first real summer here as a part of the pre-college team, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys. So yeah, that's me. Turn it back over to you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Lo. And Lo will be looking at the chat, so will Ari. So if you have questions, we're going to divide this presentation sort of into sections. So we're going to talk about, in the first section, about getting registered, financial aid process kind of stuff, just a quick overview of kind of what comes next for a lot of you. The next thing we're going to talk about is just life on college, and we're going to have our counselors share a little bit about what they think you should know about being successful here at college, and they'll answer some of your questions about just general life. I'm going to talk a little bit more about academics and what the academic life looks like in our various programs, kind of comparing them a little bit so you have a sense of how that works. Then we'll talk a little bit about the fun piece. That's Ari's job. She'll talk about the things we've planned both for virtual and in-person communities. And then I'll talk a little bit at the end about safety protocols on campus, some of the rules and COVID related things. And so we'll have time for questions in each of those sections. And if you have more questions, we'll stay until you're done with questions at the end. So we'll just make time for all of it. All right. Before we get started, we want to get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to throw up a poll here real quick and ask you to answer it, if you don't mind. So go ahead, you should see it popping up in front of you, and you can answer, where are you from, and some other just little questions. And then I'll share back the answer so you can see who else is here.
question on the poll?
So on the poll, if you're unable to hit submit, Wendy, how do you troubleshoot that? Does it automatically just take your answer?
You know, it's been so long since I've seen it from that end of things. I see that the majority of people have submitted. So it may be that once you've put all your answers in, they're just selected. You can also try scrolling down in case there's like a hidden submit button and it just popped up kind of low on your screen. I would check that. But the majority of responses have been submitted. I think we're going to give it another like 30 seconds and then we'll pull it up and have a look at what we've got. Loving these answers. I'm sorry I couldn't list all the states. It doesn't let me. So. Alrighty. I'm going to press end and you can see the results. Oh, Braylon, we're just taking a poll real quick to get to know everybody. So it's okay. It's not the end of the world if you don't get in the poll. You'll get the next one. All right. So I'm going to share the results just so you can see. Obviously, we have a lot of people from Mississippi, which is wonderful. We always love seeing that. I do see people from other states here. In fact, looks like we have 12 whose state wasn't represented on the list. Sorry if you're from Oregon or one of those other states. I had no idea like what representation would come tonight. So I just put some of the ones that I know we frequently have folks from. So yeah. One of the things that we really value about summer college is it is a pretty diverse in every way community. We have people from across the country. Usually we have people from other countries as well, from across the globe. This year, because of COVID restrictions, we're just having international students in our virtual program. But that said, one of them was writing me from Malaysia just this morning and was like, I can't make it because of the weird times difference, but I will totally review the recording. And I'm glad she's thinking about joining us because that virtual community is really enriched by the international presence. We had such a good time last year exchanging all kinds of information from students from Vietnam, from Mexico, etc. And I know we'll do the same this year. It's going to be fabulous. Welcome to all of you, whether you're from nearby or from afar. We're very glad to have you here. And I think you'll find there are people just from your same place here at the university. It's a pretty big community. Will you be virtual or in person? We obviously have more in-person students, I'm sure, tonight. That's because they are the ones with the most questions. So we have a good representation there, but hi, virtual students, we won't forget about you. We have information for you too. Which program are you hoping to attend? Let's have a look. A lot of summer college. We have some of our LOT students and our Rebel Research students here. And Star Talk Chinese, I know that the big question on all of your minds is, when will I know if I've been admitted to Star Talk? Same with you Rebel Research students. So because we pushed back the deadline, because there had been a lot of uncertainty last month about whether we'd be virtual or not and all that kind of stuff, we had some people who were just struggling to make that deadline. So we pushed it back a little bit, which means those committees will not make decisions till next week. So next week you will get an email letting you know whether you're in or out. And whether or not you're admitted, we hope you'll think about summer college as a good option. If you can't do it, or if you'd like to do 2 sessions, we have a lot of students who do summer college who are also coming in or out of these other programs. And it's a really big community, and there's a lot of overlap in terms of the experience. Why are you planning to do this? This is the part I'm really curious about. I love that some of you just want to see new places and people. I'm a curious person. I like to travel. I like meeting people. So I know that does Ari's heart good too, because she loves to travel. Poor thing, it's been such a rough year. But I love it. And curious about academic subjects. That's wonderful. College life, you'll absolutely experience it in these programs. Good. These are all really interesting. And I hope you enjoy seeing what's motivating other people too. It's always nice to see where you fit in the community in terms of what's the comparison. Why do they want to be there? Why do you want to be here? Good stuff. Thank you. Anybody want to chime in who said something else is motivating them? You can just shout out if you ticked something else. I'm curious what else is motivating you.
I want to learn Mandarin. I've been wanting to learn it for like 2 years now, so that's really motivating me to try for it.
Yeah, I love it. That very specific, cool interest. That's wonderful. Learning Mandarin. Anybody else?
Going to new places like that, it seems terrifying, but I'm gonna have to get over my fear at some point. So it could be.
Karen, absolutely right. And no better time to do it than now, like, because summer college is, even though it is a college experience, we know that you're still in high school. So it's a very, we ease you in. It's a very like supportive atmosphere. So good. Very good. Well, I want to talk a little bit right now about registration and financial aid, because I know that some of that stuff is on your minds. So here's what happens. Once you're admitted to the university, which I think just about everybody on this call probably is, we may have a few people who are still thinking about it, but you're admitted, right? What happens is we'll do like an internal questionnaire that we use sort of to give us more complete communication information, because we don't get all the information the university has. And also to allow us to start vetting like who's going to go in what class, who wants what classes, that kind of stuff. So we do that internal application, and we can start registering you, and we'll start registering you in the next week for classes if you're in June session, right? So that's when we'll start doing that. But one of the things we like to do before we register you is have here's the financial situation. Here's what you're going to get for aid. Here's what the cost is going to be to you. So you'll get what's called a cost estimate sheet. And if you're a lot student, if you're in college, a lot student, like a lot 12 student, you already signed it. You already got it back to us. You're solid. If you're a summer college student or a StarTalk student, you may not have one yet. And so what this does is it shows you, here's what your family can expect to pay for your housing, or if you're a virtual student for your program fee, all of that stuff. And it'll also show you that you have a tuition scholarship, right? Because all of our summer college programs offer full tuition scholarships. You do not pay for your classes, right? You may pay course fees, you may pay, like I said, you'll pay for housing, meals, program fees, but you don't pay that other stuff, right? It'll break all that down. Some of you may have an ACT score or an SAT score that qualifies you for automatic financial aid. That'll show up on that cost estimate sheet. You'll be able to see, oh, I got an ACT scholarship. That's cool. That'll go there. If you get that cost estimate sheet and you're like, wow, I could really use some additional financial aid. If you have financial need, and you can demonstrate that, you can send us a financial aid application, and you can just send supporting documents. It doesn't have to be tax forms. A lot of people like to use tax forms because it's easy, but you could use pay stubs. You can use Social Security checks, that kind of thing. Just talk to us and we can give you a list. But just so you know, when you get that form, it's for you to agree, like, these are the costs I'm willing to accept. Go ahead and register me for classes because I am serious about this. And if you would like to apply for financial aid, you can just let us know. We have the button on our website. You can just click it and get to the application that way, or you can talk with us further about it. But that's sort of how that works. We need your cost estimate sheets back if you're in June session by, I think it's May 1st, so that we can go ahead and get you registered. We don't want you to not get into the classes that you want because we were waiting on that cost estimate sheet, and they're starting to fill up already. So go ahead and get that back. As soon as you receive it, send it on back to us. July session, we will probably start being able to send out cost estimate sheets in another few weeks. We got to get through with June 1st, but probably by the second week in June, or second week in May, you might start to see some of those coming through. But we have a little more time to play with that. So just so you know, that's what happens. You get a cost estimate sheet, we get it back, we register you for classes. If you've picked classes that has schedule, the schedule doesn't work, we'll let you know, and then we'll work through your second and third and fourth choices. But usually we can do your second choice. So that's something that you can know and expect. Sometimes folks have questions like, when do I have to pay? Do I have to pay upfront for the remainder of my fees? You don't need to do that. We will load it on your account. And when your family comes to get you at the end of summer college, then we'll show them, hey, this is the balance that you owe. We can explain, if you've got questions about any of it, and then you can settle it up after that. Okay. So that's how that works. You don't have to, send us a check or anything like that beforehand, other than whatever you've been asked to do. Like if you're lot, you do pay a little bit ahead of time. All right. So do we have any quick questions about financial aid? I'd prefer, if you do have a personal situation question, I'd rather answer that separately, and we can talk, you can call me, we can have a meeting. But if you have a general sort of question about it, I'm happy to answer. Any general questions?
Emma asked, are payment plans accepted?
So yes, the bursar's office will do payment plans. You just have to communicate with them. We can't handle that. But so I would say wait till the end of your session. And then when you get that bill, you get in touch, you'll have like contact information for the bursar's office. You can call them and talk to them about that. And Lo, would you mind dropping into the chat the costs, the link to our dates and cost page? I think that would probably be pretty helpful.
Yeah, sure thing.
So ACT scholarships are awarded. We have your ACT and your SAT information already if you've done it and you sent your scores. So we will just look at that when we prepare your cost estimate sheet and say, okay, well, you qualify for an automatic scholarship. And there are like lots of levels, so please don't quiz me on them right now. But we will let you know if you qualify for an ACT score. I think it starts at, the automatic ones start at 28 on the ACT, and I don't remember what the SAT equivalent is. Go ahead and submit your cost estimate sheet when you get it. It should be pretty accurate. We go back, we have not awarded ACT and SAT scholarships yet, so we will go back, and if we approve those, because we just got our funding, then we'll give you a revised sheet. If you are applying for need-based aid, you're welcome to just wait and not send us your cost estimate sheet yet. Just let us know that you're sending in the financial aid application, so we don't keep going, where's your cost estimate sheet? The deadline for summer college, I see that question. We're past the deadline for June session, but for July session, you have until May 1st to complete your application. So that means you need to do the university application, get us your school approval form, your transcripts, your spring schedule, your test scores if you have them, and then we will hustle through that. Right now, we are sending like oodles of those over to admissions as fast as we can because it takes them a little while to process.
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So it's actually two questions. So first of all, I took the ACT this Saturday. So last Saturday, could we send you the scores like once we receive them, and would those still qualify for the scholarships?
In some cases, if we get them before the session starts, we can revise your cost estimate. Yep. So just go ahead and send that to us as soon as you get it. And if it's before your session starts, we can revise it. And
also, just to check, for the upcoming freshmen in high school, that camp is virtual, correct?
For which one?
Upcoming freshmen in high school, upcoming graders.
Oh yeah, lot leadership for ninth graders. Yeah, that will be virtual. And yeah, we're sorry, we're trying to protect these guys by not having a lot of other folks coming in and out. And we also can't provide healthcare to non-college students. So it was kind of a bad year for that. But next year we'll be in person, and we will try to have an event to have our Lot 9 students on campus in the fall. That's my plan. I'm trying to work it out. So cross your fingers with me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, like when is the last day to submit for the scholarship application for the June 1 session?
For the June session, because we need cost estimate sheets by May 1st, we would need that financial aid before May 1st. Okay. Because we can work from there.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, Presley, we are totally going to get to that question of normal days. No problem. We're going to get there. It is too late for June session, Jordan, yes. But you can totally do July session. I hope you can. I'm sorry. It just, the admissions office needs up to 2 weeks to review. And like I said, we're already at the point where we're trying to register people for June classes. All right, I'm gonna continue to answer more questions, and we're gonna move on a little bit. And I think I'm just making sure I didn't get any other. Okay. Yep. And Lo is going to drop that. Oh, she did drop that dates and costs into the chat. If you scroll up, you'll be able to see it. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about life in college. And I'm going to have the counselors speak to that in a minute. But I'm going to first do a little poll so we know a little bit more about what you're curious about, so we can all start thinking up answers. So I'm going to launch another poll here and see what's on your minds tonight. That way we don't spend too much time talking about things y'all don't want to hear about.
May I ask a quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
How does watching this later on work? Because that same friend who I messaged you about, she wants to watch this over with her parent, but her parent is not home at the moment.
Sure, Karen. Yep, I'm gonna send out the recording afterwards. So everyone who was on my initial list, and your friend would be on that list, I will send it out to everybody and they can review it and have a blast. It'll be a real great viewing, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right.
Question.
Our poll is about to close. This is our shortest little poll. See, a lot of questions are going to be, these are good. This is what we want to talk about.
I have another question, actually.
Go ahead.
So apparently you guys sent an email out to your applicants on the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I did not receive that until like yesterday about the non-refundable $1 fee. So should I do that? Because it still, despite the fact that it says you should complete it by the 15th.
Yes, Jonathan, go ahead and do that. And I would recommend that you also email that, email us at schs@olemiss.edu. And I'll drop that in the chat. Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And all of you.
Panicked.
I'm sure you did, Jonathan, no worries. And I'm also going to say, I am sure that you're not the first person that's happened to. Just so you all know, school addresses block us a lot. Also our addresses, because it's a university, a lot of times when we email, it goes to your spam. So if you ever think I should have had something from them, search your spam because it might be there. It happens to us all the time. All right, I'm going to end this poll so you can see what it is that we are talking about and see what you're interested in. A lot of you, not surprisingly, are interested in academic work. You have questions about that. That makes me so happy to see. We tend to collect the best and brightest from around the country in summer college and in the LOT programs. So I love seeing that you're really excited about the academics. Recreation and weekends not far behind. I figured that would be a big topic tonight, so we will try to get to that pretty soon. Those are the two big ones, and then I know you guys have questions about just what it'll look like living there, and I'm glad that you don't want to know a whole lot about COVID protocols, because frankly, I've talked about it a whole lot this year. I'm a little tired of it. So, all right, I'm going to take those down, and we're going to talk to our counselors so you can get to know them. What I want the counselors to do is I'm going to let them take turns. I'll call on you. We have counselors who work with both our virtual students and with our residential students. So we have a good selection tonight. So I want counselors to introduce yourselves, say your name and your major, also which program you're working with this summer. If you're Jumpstart, make sure you tell them that also means virtual summer college. And then maybe tell them what is one really important piece of knowledge that you would like to share with them about success at college. There's no right answers, just whatever you think is important and has been critical to you. So I'm going to call on somebody first. I'm going to pick on Marissa because she's a former summer college student. Marissa, you're up.
Hello. Hi, I'm Marissa. I am a sophomore majoring in forensic chemistry, and I'm from Massachusetts. I'm working in Jumpstart, which is also virtual summer college. Something really important for success is probably finding something like that keeps you organized. A lot of people prefer like physical planners, and I actually prefer a virtual planner. So just like knowing that like you can keep yourself organized in a variety of different ways is pretty important.
Thank you so much, Marissa. And you guys can be thinking about questions you have just about college life for the counselors. I'm going to call in Bryant next.
Hey guys, I'm Bryant. I am a fourth year senior here at Ole Miss. I'm a computer science major and a Chinese minor. I've been studying Chinese for about 4 years along with computer science. I will be one of the high school counselors as well as a Star Talk tutor over the summer. One of the recommendations I think people should know coming into college is you need to learn how to hold yourself accountable. And this isn't something that you'll probably learn your freshman year. It might take several years over time. And this can be anything between holding yourself accountable to have both fun and study, or it can be make sure you get your dishes, your laundry, etc. done. And it also can be financial things, making sure that you're following a good budget. So holding yourself accountable is probably a good lesson coming in to know.
Great, Bryant. Thank you. I'm sure all the parents out there who are listening are like, yes, that's right. Okay, let's talk to Jerica.
Hey y'all, my name is Jerica Dixon. I'm a biology pre-PA major. Pre-PA is physician assistant. I am a rising senior this year, so I'm going to be a senior in the fall. One thing that I would say is time management. That's something I think is gonna knock a lot of people over from the jump, because in high school, a lot of you, not probably all of you, have your mom or dad telling you like, hey, get up for school. Hey, you have to do this today, or something that's keeping you on like a strict schedule. And you don't have that in college. Like if you go to class, that's on you. If you don't go to class, that's still on you, because you still got to get that work done. Like, so I would just say that like time management is a big thing in college, and sometimes it takes a while to learn. I would just say keep yourself on a schedule as soon as you get here and stay on that schedule, because once you off of it, it takes a while to get back on.
So true. So true. All right. Let's see. How about Deontay?
Yes, hey, sorry, I'm in the car right now. But my name's Deontay Davis. I'm a current sophomore. I'm double majoring in psychology and pharmaceutical sciences. And going back to what Jerica and Brian said about accountability and time management, I would say that it's best to find a balance in both of those, but also make sure you surround yourself with the right people. You want to have those people in your corner who are going to help hold you accountable and help make sure that you get all your things done. You don't want to have just those friends who like to party. You want to make sure that you have a nice balance between your social life and your academic life, because academics do come first, and that's the only way that you're going to be successful here at the university.
Thank you, Deontay. And let's see, Claire, last but not least.
Hey y'all, my name is Claire Pearson. I'm a sophomore biology major, upcoming junior, and I'll be working with Jumpstart this summer, but also virtual summer college. And an important piece of advice, these have all been so good, and they're definitely all things I've struggled with, but I would say attendance to your classes. That's one of those like hard things once you get to college, because you have so much freedom, and teachers without an attendance policy, you're like, oh, I'll just never go and I'll do the homework later. You don't do the homework later. So I just say go into all of your classes and being really focused on academics as you come in, because the social aspect does come, and that's so fun. And that's the best part of college, but really making sure that you're going to all of your classes and paying attention and taking good notes.
Yes, yes. Yes to all of that. They all had fabulous advice, and I hope you heard it. You'll be living it very soon. And by the way, if you're virtual and you're like, well, I won't have distractions, you will. I mean, you will have to organize your time. You will have to be committed to following through on things. You will have to really pay attention to what's around you. So it's all those lessons are very true in the virtual sphere too. So let me ask you all, do you have questions right now just about college life? I'll talk about academics here in a minute, but just about life, about the rhythm of life, about how you fill your time. Any questions
I
for the
see one in
counselors?
the chat.
Oh, good.
And I read the whole question, but I'm going to focus on the part where you asked about mental health and how to keep it stable. Because I think it's a lot of people or students that struggle with this and don't talk about it. We have a counselor center on campus, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be open to summer college in the summer, right? Okay, well, yeah. So they are helpful when it comes to like managing stress. But honestly, I would just say it's finding what works for you. So talking is not that thing that works for everybody. And I'm not going to say it's a way in college that you can just stay away from stress because it comes. But it's about managing it and taking on too much and ways of saying like, no, I can't do that this week, or I need to focus this week, so no, I got to stay in this week. It's all about that time management, going back to what everybody said before. It's all about planning out things. Like, I know for me to stay mentally stable, I have to exercise. That's the thing that brings me back to where I'm supposed to be. It brings me where I am. So every morning I get up and I make time to go exercise. That might not be the thing for everybody. And it's just really what works for you. For one of my friends, she likes to read. So every night she finds time, if it's just 15 minutes, she finds time to read one of her books. Like, it's just finding what works for you, honestly.
That is a great response, Jerica. And I just want to make sure all of you know, yes, you have access to the counseling center if you're taking college classes. So Lot 9 won't apply to you, and I'm sorry about that. We can talk about that. That's a separate question. But if you're summer college, so even if you're virtual, they do telehealth counseling. Use that resource. If you are here on campus, you have access to our rec center facilities, and the counselors are going to introduce you to how that works. In fact, Ari has already scheduled some things at the rec center, so we'll have some really fun, like special activities you can do, but you can also just go to run on the treadmill, to like, lift weights, whatever works for you. They even have classes you can do. We will probably do some yoga classes or dance classes just as a part of our co-curricular program. That's true for virtual as well as for our in-person. So we will talk about wellness. We'll revisit these questions. We'll talk about time management. The counseling center is going to present on that. So we're very attentive to that and try to give you the tools that you need to be good at managing your time, but also managing your wellness. So let's see, I see, I had some questions too. This is unrelated, but questions about, will individual programs have individual orientations like Rebel Research, Star Talk? Yes, you have a special one lot just for you. Just like we will have summer college virtual and summer college residential, different orientations. So you will get more information about your program specifically. Somebody asked a question, Presley asked a good question about how hard is it to adapt from being away from home. And I would love to hear the college students. Do you guys have thoughts on that? How hard is it to adapt? Because they're going to be here for a whole month.
Yeah. So with me, I can't really speak to as much the summer as much as you with the normal semesters. But when I started here with the flagship program, I had to spend the first summer away from home. I wouldn't say it was as hard as it was just an unusual feeling. You definitely do get used to it after a while. And I keep in contact with my parents all the time, give them a call every other day. So I would say it's definitely unusual, but kind of going back to that accounting, like keeping yourself accountable sort of thing. It's really more of a weird feeling of thinking, oh, I have to make dinner for myself, or oh, I need to do my own laundry, or oh, I need to do my own dishes. So I wouldn't say it's hard as much as it is just odd. It's an odd feeling, but you do get the sense of like a good sense of like, man, I'm being responsible for myself. I'm doing my own stuff, and it's a constructive feeling as much as it is just an odd feeling in general.
I think that way of describing it as odd, Bryant, I think is a good way. I think if any of you have ever stayed away at like camp for a few days, or even just stayed over a friend's house, that it just feels like I'm a little out of place. Like I'm having fun, things are good, but I'm a little out of place. Things aren't the way they are usually. And so part of summer college is really just sitting with that experience of feeling a little odd and knowing everyone else feels the same way. And then reaching out for support. The counselors are living on your floor with you. And if you're like sitting around bummed in your room, they're going to notice, and they're going to try to, help. Okay. And for some people that's like, hey, let's go outside, let's do something. For other people, it's just like, hey, could we just watch a TV show together? Let's just watch a movie, let's play a video game, whatever. But they will be your companions, and they will help connect you to other people too. So it's a growing up process, and it's definitely not always easy. Any other counselors want to comment on how you adjusted to being away from home for a while?
Yeah, sure. So like I said a little bit earlier, I'm from Massachusetts. So coming and I participated in summer college in 2018. So I was like 1,000 miles away from home for 4 weeks, and that was I think it was pretty hard, but you have like you can call your parents, and I think what's really important is to just not isolate yourself. I made some really, really good friends, and I spent like all my time with them. So just like not being alone makes you like feel a lot better.
That's great. Yeah, and we will have times where, like every day, where you're in a community of people. So right after dinner, 4 days a week, you're getting together with them, and you've got your counselors. And some nights it'll be like, hey, let's just go get some, ice cream from the creamery. Other nights it'll be, Ari has something planned, we're gonna have hors d'oeuvres, and we're gonna like meet different programs on campus, or we're gonna go tour someplace or something like that. So there will be lots of opportunities where we kind of intentionally structure you getting to know people. That said, I think the best friends usually happen because you hang out with them in class, and kind of organically you're on the same floor. That's where the really deep friendships kind of form. Jonathan asked a question about maps and all that, and I'm going to use that to transition because it's a really good one. So you can carry around a map if you'd like, but I don't recommend it. What most students do, we have an app, and we'll introduce you to it at our orientation. There's an app that you can get on your phone, and it helps you navigate around campus. And one of the nice things about it is not only does it show you like, here's where I am, just like a regular, GPS map on your phone. Here's where I am. Here's the building I'm trying to get to. And here's all the little sidewalks and things that I can use to navigate there. But it'll also show you like the bus routes. Like maybe it's a hot day and you're like, I'd really rather ride the bus. It'll show you where the buses are, if they're close, and you can follow the bus route and get on a bus. So that's a nice thing. We will also show you those buildings when you first get here. One of the things the counselors do is group up students and then just take them around and show them different buildings. So you'll have your schedule in hand at that point, and you can tick off, okay, this building is one of mine, this building is one of mine. So you'll know where you're going to help you navigate. It's fun. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to talk a little bit about academics because I figure we got to keep moving. I don't want to keep you guys much past 6:15 tonight. And anyone, like I said, who wants to stay longer can. Academics. So there are two things that I really want you to understand. First of all, if you're a virtual student, that means that a lot of your instruction, maybe all of it, is going to be asynchronous. That means that your professors will not just make you, sit there while they lecture. You will be able to review their materials like kind of on your own time, right? They'll like post videos or they'll post PowerPoints, you go through it, and then you'll have work to do. That sounds maybe a little laid back, like you can do it in your pajamas. You can wear your pajamas, that's optional, but you will have to complete things on a time schedule. So even though it's not happening in class where you're looking at them face to face at the same time, you will have to hit the time schedule to turn in your assignments. Lot 9 is going to have a mixture of those things. So you will have asynchronous instruction the first couple of weeks, where you just have assignments and readings and things to do, discussions. And then after that, you'll be in person with your teachers. So that's how virtual works. Sometimes students want to know, like, well, how am I going to get those materials? Well, I need to order textbooks if I'm virtual. Some professors will have online textbooks they use. Some won't make you use any at all. They'll just have documents they post or websites. But you will do it all through a platform we call Blackboard. And this program will be used both by virtual students and residential students. Blackboard is like Schoology or Canvas, if you've used those programs, like Google Classroom. It's just a place to put all of the stuff that professors have for you. let's see, I just saw a little question there I needed to respond to. So that's how it'll work. Textbooks are things that you need to buy, so that's something you need to budget for. You'll see in our costs web page that we have up there that you need to budget for textbooks unless you're Star Talker Lot. That's going to be a thing you have to do. So keep in mind that you need some pocket money for that in the summer. Don't be surprised by that cost. Textbooks can be really expensive, especially in the sciences. If you find that your textbooks are just out of this world and you're struggling, let us know. This is where we can help, the counselors can help, and we, like, a lot of times we'll know where's the cheap places to get textbooks and kind of help you navigate that, or switch you into class with less expensive textbooks. Another thing that I want to speak to is a lot of times students are worried about academically being challenged in a way they maybe haven't before. You know, you may be an awesome student in high school, but this is next level stuff. One of the things that I encourage students to do is ask for help early and often. We have resources on campus that you can use for free. So we have writing tutors, we have math tutors, and you also have this staff of counselors, all of whom have amazing GPAs, and they have expertise in all kinds of fields. We have our humanities folks in like history, classics, English. We have our science folks in pharmacy and pre-med. We got everybody in the whole spectrum. We got marketing, all of it. So if you're having trouble with a class, odds are there's someone in our community who knows how to do it. So whether you're virtual, whether you're in person, ask for help, do it early, and do it often. Even if you're just like, I've only got an A- and I want to scrape it up to an A. We respect that. We encourage you to get that help, and we're here to support you. We love that our summer college students do so well academically, and even the professors sometimes tell us they like our students more than they like their college students, but we're not supposed to share that. I'm just telling you, you guys do an amazing job every year. And if you do need help, we are here for you. I'm going to put up a poll real quickly just to see what you guys are thinking about in terms of the things you think are going to be good about summer college. I want my new poll. There we go. About summer college and the things that you think might be challenging for you. All right. Here you go. And continue to keep those questions coming in the chat. If I haven't gotten your question yet, I certainly will. Lo is taking notes and she's going to keep me on point.
There is a question here. I'm sorry.
No, you can go on.
I'm sorry. There is a question here in the chat. If we are in person, do we have to take all in-person classes, or are we allowed to mix them and also take a web-based class?
Nope. If you're here in person, we want you to be in person in class. That's sort of part of the experience we're trying to offer, is that kind of face-to-face contact, walking from this building, that building. Yes, it's Mississippi and it's hot in the summer. Buy yourself some really comfortable clothes and great shoes. But yeah, you will be just doing in person. And to be honest, you have more options for classes if you're in person this summer. We're still doing social distancing, but they've worked it out so that the classes will be able to accommodate the students we have. Jonathan asked about Rebel Research. Lab hours vary. Typically 9 to 4 is what you're looking at, but some professors will adjust it earlier or later depending on their grad student schedules and depending on, you know, your availability. It just really depends. They also will vary in terms of how much independent work you do versus how much like supervised, really guided, you know, do this kind of work. That's something you kind of would want to talk to the professor about, but they will usually have a little orientation session where they lay out for you, here's my expectations, here's the hours, this is how we're going to evaluate your work or how you're going to demonstrate what you've learned at the end. So if you don't get guidance from your professor, just ping me and let me know. Sometimes they need to be just reminded because they're busy like trying to submit conference papers and things. All right. Well, Darius is asking how much it costs. So, well, Darius, I'll tell you, it definitely varies. We can drop the cost, and because there's different people on here with different programs, I'm not going to try to guess, you know, which one for you, but I'll ask. Yep, Ari just dropped it in. You can click on that website and compare, like pick the program you're in, pick the stuff that you're interested in, and it should show you what you're looking at for cost. And as I mentioned before, we do have financial aid. So that's something I know a lot of students are gonna want. All right, we're almost done with the poll. I'm just to let a couple people, I see a couple more results are in progress. Devin, you asked a really good question about Star Talk. You will not want to take any other academic courses at this time. Look at Bryant. He is shaking his head no. Bryant, would you like to speak to what it's like?
Yeah. So Star Talk is both an academic class and also it's a cultural class. One thing you need to keep in mind, especially with the Chinese flagship program in general, is that obviously the flagship program encourages you to study other stuff along with it, but that will take up a large chunk of your time. Same with the summer programs. I know the Star Talk and flagship aren't technically together, but you need to bear in mind the Star Talk will take up a large chunk of your time. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but that's generally how the class is structured because, unlike a class like, Spanish or German, where you kind of have like at least some semblance of grammar or structure, Chinese is just complete opposite of what anything you've ever studied. So there's a long process to study the language. So it's going to take up a good chunk of time. So I wouldn't recommend taking anything else along with it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Bryant. A couple other questions have come in that I want to address. Somebody asked about a gym. Yes, you will have, actually we have 2 gym recreational spaces on campus. One has a pool and one has like a rock climbing wall. They have different utilities that they offer. We will introduce you to those. So you will get to know where you can go. And we will also be able to do like transportation to the one that's a little further away. So you don't have to worry about that. I had a couple questions come through in the chat about COVID protocols. I'm going to speak to those in just 1 minute. All right. But let's look at, and about going off campus, I'll talk about those in a minute. Let's look at this poll real quick and just see, and just so you can see where everybody is. A lot of you are worried about the challenge academically. Got it. Getting to know strangers. Isn't it nice to know that you're right now in the company of a bunch of strangers who are also worried about getting to know strangers? I think that that's one of the things that is, you've got to remind yourself of that. Even when you're a freshman in college, you feel awkward that first day, like maybe everybody knows things I don't, but there are so many people that don't know all the same things you don't know. So you should never, and if they do know things, they didn't at one point, right? So there's no shame in asking questions, no shame in awkward moments. It's just part of it, right? And we all just roll and move on, and maybe you end up with some funny stories. But I'm glad to see that you all are open to sharing that. And I hope that if you're worried about it, you take some comfort from knowing that other people are worried about it too. And we will help you get to know people. Something to know too about your academic classes is that unless you're in LOT or Star Talk, you're going to be in classes with other college students. And that can seem daunting too, but I guarantee you those college students will be totally open. They will know first of all, they're not going to know that you're in high school. So you don't have to tell them if you don't want to, but also they will be great resources. They will start class group meets and invite you into them so that you know what everybody else is talking about. And if you're like missing an assignment, you can see what somebody else is reminding everybody, hey, you got to get this thing in. They will be good assets for you. They will be allies. So it will be good for you and you'll get to know them too. They're very friendly. This is a very friendly campus, by the way. That's been my experience of it. What do you think will be your greatest strengths this summer? Love of learning. Y'all, that goes straight to my heart. That just makes me so happy. Independence. Wonderful, wonderful. And academic ability. Yeah, you guys are a remarkable group. I know I look all over your data and I always go, wow, they're great. So I'm glad to see that you guys see that you have assets that you can draw on. And I think what you can also see is there's a pretty good spread here. So if there's something that you don't feel as good at, other people will have that and they can offer that to you. Marissa mentioned before she made some really, really good friends in summer college. I hear that over and over again, like LOT, Star Talk, Summer College. I made friends that lasted forever. I met counselors who continue to be my mentors for years later, even once I was in college myself. Those are some of the great things that come out of this. And it's true for virtual students as well as for the residential students. All right, good. Hope you enjoyed seeing those. I like that. Okay, so we have questions about COVID. We have questions about recreation. I think, you know what, I was going to save COVID to the end, but I'm going to do it right now just because some of those questions seem to be more urgently on your mind. And then Ari will finish out with the fun stuff. So one of the things you need to understand about our COVID policies this year is that the stakes are really high. I know for a lot of people, it's really hard to imagine coming to campus, staying for 4 whole weeks and not leaving during that time. Unless you're with us and you're going to Walmart on a bus or something with us, or you're walking or riding your bike with us. It's hard. Normally we have weekend leave and we allow people to come and go. But this year, we were almost not able to have this program because the university is very concerned about quarantining minors. And here's the problem. You guys are not 18 yet, and we can't keep you on campus if you have even symptoms of COVID. They don't want you to stay on campus. And so what we were faced with was, well, we would have to make arrangements to quarantine you off campus. Well, if I'm quarantining people off campus, I gotta supervise them, right? I've got a responsibility to your families. I gotta make sure you're safe. How can I do that if you're in a hotel or some off-campus residence hall? Like, I'm a parent, no way, and the university wouldn't want me to do that either. So, and also I'd have to hire a fleet of counselors to quarantine people, and that would raise costs for everybody and make it just undoable. So we can't do that. We have to have everybody just stay on campus and not get sick. Well, that's really hard to do. Colleges are like petri dishes of disease. Freshmen will tell you that first month I had colds and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So things we're doing that are easy, simple things, and some of them are just required by the university. Masks inside. If you're inside, you got to have a mask on. If you are within, inside, you've got to make sure you're within or no closer than 3 feet to a person. That's the new summer guidelines. So it's better than 6 feet, but still you can't be close up on people. We're not going to have roommates this year, which, I think Ari and I are kind of like, yay, no roommate problems this year. But I know for some people that's part of the experience, and it's a really fun one. You really bond like siblings. Not going to happen this year. No roommates. We're pre-screening everybody, right? When you arrive, we're going to ask you to do a thermometer temperature check, and then we're going to say, okay, do you have your COVID vaccination, or do you have a recent COVID test from the last 72 hours? You got to show one of those in order to be able to move here residentially. Virtual students, you're like, woohoo, none of this applies to me. That's fine. Those are the little things we're doing. Some of the bigger things, though, include we can't have it go into your aunt in Tupelo and stay in, because what if your aunt, it has, COVID? What if her friends do? And then you get it and you bring it back into our little community. We're trying to maintain a bubble, right? So if you bring that back, then some student who lives across the country in California or Oregon, suddenly they're going, I've got COVID and now I've got to go home. That's terrible. That's not fair to them, right? So we're trying to keep a bubble. We're trying to prevent people from leaving, even if it's just to go to see your aunt in Tupelo, even if it's just to go sling pizzas at Lost Pizza at your job. And I know that's really hard. It's asking a lot of you, but it's about being fair to the whole community and considerate of everyone. We don't know either if some folks in our community may be immune compromised. We want to make sure we take care of everyone the best we can and preserve that bubble. That also means we can't take shuttles to the airport because the university won't let us put more than 1 or 2 students in a van. So that's a real problem, right? To send I've got 20 students coming in and I've only got 15 vans. We just can't do it this year. It would also be a big expense for you. So we're suggesting that students who are flying in communicate with us, and we'll try to help you connect to other people that are coming in at the same time, and you can arrange transportation. There are shuttles that are doing things responsibly. We can give you the names of those companies. You can wear a mask and you can come in that way. But we'll try to help you with that. I know a lot of folks are just driving. So we'll try to make it worth your while and entertain your parents when they get here. So that's kind of the broad sketch of COVID protocols. I know people will have questions about sports, for example. I'm on a team and I really need to practice. We can't have folks going away to practice with their teams, getting in locker rooms, all that kind of stuff. And I am very, very sorry. This is not just me speaking. We had to submit a plan because there's a whole committee with protocols at the university, and we had to show them we were going to do things responsibly. And we had to consult with housing and with legal counsel and with our health leadership. So I know it's tough, but please, if you're making this decision to do this, do it responsibly. Think realistically about, will this ruin my other plans for the summer? And if I have to comply with those protocols, because I know In an emergency situation, we will definitely make an exception, and we'll have to refer it to our director, Ellen Shelton, but it'll only be in sort of extenuating circumstances. It will not be a regular thing that we allow a student to leave campus. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so fully vaccinated, I've had that question before too. So one of the things about being fully vaccinated is we don't yet know what your capacity for spreading the virus is. The science is still out on that. It's looking encouraging, but we don't know yet. So you could be vaccinated and still bring COVID back to other people. And so for that reason, we're not letting even vaccinated people go. Our whole staff is vaccinated, but we'll still be complying to, I promise I won't be going on vacation or doing anything fancy with myself. I'll just be sitting in my house, coming to campus. All right. Any other questions? And if you are worried about the 4th of July holiday, we're going to have, there'll be fireworks here in town, and we're going to have a big like cookout and games and stuff like that. So it at least will be festive in a summer college style. All right. I don't see a lot more questions coming in on the chat for that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in our recreation poll. It's our last poll of the evening. And then I'll have Ari speak to some of the things we have planned. And we have way more planned than we have in this poll. But what we really want to do is make sure that whatever we plan, it's stuff that you guys would actually want to do. We've been talking to some of our counselors and our past students. We know what's been popular. And if you're virtual, you can still vote on these because a lot of these things are still going to happen for virtual students. That includes Lot 9, our virtual summer college folks. So go ahead and take a minute and vote. Let us know, what are the things you most want to do? In the meantime, I'll answer Fletcher's question. So yeah, Fletcher, if your mom wants to come visit you on campus, that's perfectly fine. Y'all can go to Starbucks, go to the Union. You can like tell her all about your life here. It's cool. We can't have her in the residence hall, and we don't want her just like taking you downtown to like eat inside, that kind of thing. We're going to be trying when we go out here to eat mostly in the outdoor spaces, and there are lots of them right now. It's beautiful. You can eat on the sidewalks and stuff. Oh, somebody asked about Arise. Arise is virtual only this year, so we're not doing a whole lot with Arise because they're kind of managing their own virtual space. Ladavian, the move-in days are different for different programs, but you can look on the website under dates and costs. We have that for Star Talk or for summer college or for Lot, and under dates and costs, it'll show you both the day your classes begin and your move-in day. Star Talk is about 4 weeks long, Caitlin. Same as summer college July session.
And if you want me, Ms. Wendy, to hang out after the meeting is over to answer some of the questions about the Star Talk program itself, I'm more than happy to.
Thank you, Brian. I see those coming in. All right. While we're getting the last of the poll results in, college counselors, what are some of the fun things that you enjoy here in Oxford that you think they will enjoy here in Oxford? It can be really fancy. It can be like, I just like chilling in the Grove with my friends, whatever.
I was really just about to say, I really like studying in the Grove, especially on days where like there's like a good breeze and you can like sit under a tree at a picnic table. It's just so nice. There's Wi-Fi in the Grove, which is really good. And it's not like bad Wi-Fi either. I had like a whole like 2,000 line spreadsheet open. It was great. It still works.
Wow, 2,000 line spreadsheets. That sounds like my kind of fun, Marissa. In the Grove, we do have really good Wi-Fi all over campus.
I think one of my favorite things to do when I was on campus, especially during orientation, was kind of go around and try to find what I wanted to plan as like future study spots. I don't know if there's anybody in the computer science or like planning on joining computer science here at Ole Miss, but in Weir Hall, there's a like a little patio on the second floor of Weir, where you can see, the Trent Lott Institute, a bunch of other places. And that's an awesome place to study because, you're under the shade and all the wind coming in from the second floor is really nice. There's tons of places to study in the library too, in the Grove, as y'all mentioned. That place is a wonderful, wonderful spot just to sit there and lie back and enjoy the weather.
Awesome. I like the comfy chairs in Bryant Hall too. What else do you all like to do for fun that they might enjoy too?
Well, I know with this program in particular, they may not be able to enjoy it, but when you do get to be on campus and get to go off campus and enjoy all the off campus stuff, um, if there's anybody in here who likes to fish, Sardis is a great place to go just to spend some time out over by the reservoir, go fishing there, and then there's a billion different wonderful places to eat when y'all do get to come here for campus, for orientation or whenever you're able to actually visit the other areas of Oxford. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Oxford before, but my favorite place to go is Ajax, just because if you like good Southern food, that's the place to go. Chicken and gravy and meatloaf and all that sort of good stuff.
I love their catfish and their hush puppies and their okra. I am absolutely into it. Yes. And you will be going to the square. To be clear, we will take you up to the square and you'll be able to like shop, and we're going to do scavenger hunt stuff. We will take the public transportation down to Lamar Park or ride bikes down there. It's actually walkable too. We have a really nice hiking and mountain biking trail that we can access, that we can get to. So there's a lot of things we can do around Oxford just by walking or riding bikes, and we will definitely be doing those things. We're also having meals catered once a week for you guys, so you'll get to have some of the meals, some of the food that we love in Oxford will be brought to you here on campus, the ones that we can't reach necessarily on our own feet. I'm going to go ahead and share the poll so y'all can see. So here are the things that you all are interested in doing. Trivia and games. Awesome. We love playing games. We've got outdoor games that we can play. Like we have a lot of stuff like that, but we also have indoor stuff. And I know the counselors always love putting together Kahoots. I do too. With virtual, last year we had a lot of fun with Kahoots, and movies with live chat. That's definitely something we were thinking of doing, because that's always a good time. And something the virtual students can do too. Esports events. Ooh, I'm so glad you guys want to do that, because our esports team on campus, they are really interested in doing an event with us. And we thought it would be a great way for like virtual students who want to participate can, residential students, we could all bring each other together and play esports. Lot 9 can play it, everybody.
Yeah, funny enough, I was actually on that esports team for a little while.
How are you?
Yeah, they have a Rocket League team, CSGO, League of Legends, all those sort of games that you can imagine there's being a competitive scene before they have that.
Awesome. Awesome, Bryant. Thank you. I may have to pick your brains at some point. So good. It's good to see you guys have some good recreational priorities. I see you have some something else answers, which I really love. Anyone want to tell me what your something else ideas are? No virtual students want to share their something else ideas. That's okay. We will still be picking your brains afterwards. Don't worry, you haven't lost us. Yes, flag football is definitely in the cards. We do that all the time. We have a nice big green outside the Residential College of South, and ultimate frisbee, soccer, flag football, all kinds of stuff gets played there. 1 year it was all Foursquare all the time. I don't know if that was Marissa's year or not, but it was just like every time I walked up, I'm like, why are there 5 games of Foursquare running? I don't understand. But we have badminton too. We have like a little badminton set, cornhole. So there's other stuff that you guys can do. Please bring your musical instruments. Ari has been planning. She had this inspired idea. Ari, you want to talk a little bit while we're looking at this? You want to talk about some of your awesome ideas? Ooh, we love talent shows too. Yeah.
Well, I hope they are awesome. So most of the things that we are planning are outdoors, and we all know why. But rest assured that we are going to tackle that big concern of yours about meeting, or the fear of meeting somebody. So most of our activities are designed for you to overcome that challenge and to be able to meet and make friends, and develop the skills that you will need later on. So if you decide to come to campus, or you decide to be online, you will have a lot of fun. I can guarantee you. So I'm going to talk now for the residential students first, and then I'm going to address the online students after. So for the residential students, usually many students ask what a day looks like. So I'm going to explain a little bit how a regular day looks like. Later or late or later or early, depending on what time your first class is. Some classes are at 8, which is the earliest. The latest probably at 4, from 4 to 6 or 3 to 4. So in the mornings, from 8 to 12, you probably have your 2 courses, or probably they will extend until 4 p.m. So we allow you to have that time for yourself, for you to go to your classes, for you to go for lunch. Your schedule before 4 p.m. it's pretty much designed or dictated by your class schedule. But in between, of course, you're not going to be in classes all that time. So in the in between, you will be able to go to the gym if you need. If you will have time to go for lunch. The best time for you to go to. You will probably have time for napping. You will probably have time to go to the Grove and relax for a little bit in between classes. Everyone at 4 o'clock, is it 4 or 5? I think it's 5.
Are you thinking about community time? Community time is usually at 6, because we
6.
let them go to dinner, because otherwise they're hungry and angry at community time.
Yeah. Usually you go for dinner, and after 6 o'clock sharp, everybody comes back to the residence hall, and you will meet with your pods, your communities. So this means you will be divided into small groups, and you will have 2 counselors leading you, and we will have all sort of activities from 6 o'clock onwards. Some of them we will have academic driven activities, for example, visits from different departments, or workshops, or visits to different places on campus. Some of the days you will meet with your community, and you will have competitions with other communities, or sports tournaments. Some of the days we will have social events like ice cream socials, or invite other people on campus and have snacks. Some of the days we will have dancing lessons, yoga lessons, some activities for relaxing. So during the evenings, you will have a lot of things to do. So that's how a typical day looks like. Everyone at 10 o'clock, you have to come back to the dorm, and 10:30 is time for you to go to bed. I mean, we don't know if you're going to sleep right away, but you have to be in your dorm, in your bathrooms by that time. So that's how typically a day from Monday to Friday looks like. You will have to make time for community, because that's mandatory. And that's also, we're trying to help you prioritize your activities during the day. You have to make time for studying. You will have time to make time to exercise, to have dinner. And this is going to be a very, very, very good practice for you to start getting ready for what comes ahead. So during the weekends, we have all sort of activities for the weekends. So we have visits to different parks. We're going to have picnics around the parks in Oxford. We will go to the square for lunch or dinner, or both. We will also have scavenger hunts in the square, or also here on campus. We will have the chance to go to different concerts. We will have the chance to go to the wall here on campus. There's a new climbing wall that we will be able to go to. We will also have the chance to do running or exercising outside if that's what you want, or just going for a walk. So this year, we're focusing more on activities that are gonna help you to be mentally healthy and also relaxing. There's one weekend where we're going to Memphis. So we go either ice skating, to a baseball game, to a museum, or a strolling by the Mississippi River. So we will give you all the details whenever we get closer. So this is basically what's going to happen, or how the residential fun activities will look like. So the online, don't despair, because we will have a lot of different activities as well for you. So we will pair you up. You will also be assigned a group, a pod, or a community. And the exciting part of this is that you will be in a group of students with people from all over the U.S. and also people from other countries. So far we have Spanish speakers. So if you are trying to learn the language, or if you are interested in that culture, in Hispanic culture, you will have a lot of chances to practice your Spanish. We will also have students that speaks Arabic and also speak Portuguese. So that's going to be an interesting thing. And twice a week, you have to meet with your groups to do some activities. So you can have gaming nights or movie nights. You will also have special events besides your community activities. And you will also have the chance to meet the students who are residing on campus with us. So you will have the chance to meet them, even though you are wherever you are. And we have a lot of students here. So that's going to be something interesting, and more opportunities for you to make friends and overcome that fear of meeting other people. And I hope that I have given you enough information. But if you have more questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you for your feedback too. We will definitely use that. We have a lot more things too. Let us know your feelings on escape rooms. We've been thinking about, we usually take students to one off campus, but we were thinking you can do them in the hall. And there are some great ways to do that. So we were thinking it'd be fun to have like kind of a Roaring 20s themed escape room one night, something like that. And you can dress in costume if you feel like it. If not, you can just solve stuff. Anyway, we had a whole bunch of ideas, sort of. Yay, Savannah likes them. At least we got one vote for escape rooms. That's good. So somebody had asked about flying in, and I'll just say Memphis is the closest airport. It's a little over an hour away, because normally we would come get you, but we can't do that this year. So if you are flying in, what we would recommend you do is let us know, when are you arriving? And then if you want, we can help you connect with other students. I mean, if you want, you can just order a Lyft or an Uber or whatever on your own and come in by yourself from Memphis. People do. There's also a shuttle service I can give you the name of, and we can do that all by email. But I recommend you trying to save some money and come in with somebody else if you can. So, but either way, it's just your level of comfort, if you've done those kinds of things before, if your parents have walked you through like how to use the Lyft app and that kind of stuff. But we're happy to help you do that. And I am sorry. I wish I could just send vans for you like I normally would. So at this point, we have run past. I had hoped to end the presentation part by 6:15 and then let y'all ask questions at the end, but y'all had good questions throughout, so we just kept going with answering questions. So Ari and I will stay on as long as you would like to answer all of your questions. But those of you who would like to drop off now, go ahead. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see all of your faces. I can't tell you how excited we are after last year not being in person. We love this, and we had so much fun in virtual last year too. I got to know the students better than I ever do because we were in face-to-face all the time. So I'm excited about virtual. I'm excited about residential, and we're happy to help you with anything that you need. Just email me anytime or call. Mackenzie has a question. Okay, so we're switching over. Random questions, go for it. Can you go to church services or religious services? Yes. We have a number of faith organizations in town, and as long as we can walk you there or ride the bus there or whatever, we will get you there. And the counselors kind of divide that up, and they just take on different responsibilities, and somebody goes to the Catholic Church and somebody goes to this one and that one and wherever. So we will try to help meet your needs in that way as well. Don't worry about that. Yes, so with lot leadership, you will need some extra attire. We will send you a specific list of like exactly what you need. So you will get pretty clear guidance from the lot leadership program on what they expect your business attire to look like. So don't worry about that. You will get that in the mail. Actually, you get that through email. Great. Other questions pop up? Y'all can just shout things out, or if you've got questions for the counselors. Yes, there's a Papa John's, and also you can get like DoorDash kind of stuff. You can order stuff and like fetched. You can get stuff delivered to you at the residence halls. Sometimes folks wonder too, am I allowed to wander around campus? You are allowed to wander around campus as long as it's not curfew. So you can move all around. Just do not leave campus without us. Can you pick other classes other than an honor list? Yes, you can. Just let us know what you're looking for and we'll try to help you. Hopefully you meet the requirements. Some classes have prerequisites, so we can't put you in them, but if we can, we will. Okay. Activities on campus and expenses. Great question. So your meals will be, if you are like summer college or you're paying your way, you will buy a meal plan, so you'll be all set. And we also cater some additional meals. You will want to bring some spending money, just because students like to grab a bunch of snacks at Walmart, or they like to order in food. So definitely budget for what you think your eating out budget will be. We know from experience, students tend to skip breakfast. So we don't include breakfast in our like a meal plan thinking. So if you're a committed breakfast fan, you may want to bring yourself some breakfast, or you can just eat breakfast at the residence at the thing and skip lunch or order food or whatever you want. So to plan with that in mind. In terms of things being free or the costs, you will, almost everything we do, I'm thinking of that list that Ari gave you, that'll all be just included in the cost of our program fee. Star Talk, it's included in the grant, so you don't have to worry about it. Same with Rebel Research and Lot. The only things you would need to pay for are if you go downtown and you decide you want to, eat on the square and treat yourself to lunch there, or if you, are at the zoo and you want to get yourself a slushie or, whatever. So definitely budget some spending money, mostly for food. That's the thing. Lot 9 will not have attire requirements. We just ask that you're respectful of your teachers. Don't freak them out by wearing, your gym wear when you're meeting with them synchronously. And then they're like, wait, are you here for class or are you here to work out? Star Talk is free. Star Talk and Lot, you don't have to pay for your books at all. So even that additional expense you don't have. So yeah, Star Talk is completely grant funded and you will not pay anything other than, like I said, if you want to do some extra stuff on your own, you can. Star Talk covers everything, your room, your tuition, all of it. So Jonathan, there aren't meal plan options in summer college. It's just a standard meal plan that comes with as part of the package. Caitlin is asking about the intensity of Star Talk. Bryant?
Yeah, hey, so the intensity, it's going to be, I would say, harder than stuff you do in high school, but it's not going to be something where you're like, in tears studying every single night either. It's both a fun thing and an educational thing. You'll get a cultural experience out of it as much as you will educational. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a class, because it is technically a class, but you will get, it's not intense in that you're going to be sitting there studying 4 hours every night. It's just hey, here's some phrases in Chinese. Here's some, here's the Chinese lunar calendar. You need to try to remember all the names of the animals on the calendar, and then this, that, and the other. It's not something where you're going to be sitting there tearing your hair out studying for every night.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Other questions?
I also have a question about Star Talk.
Sure, Emma.
So I've been in like other Chinese programs too. So will it be like extremely difficult to get like the hang of like the Star Talk, like how it is?
So basically Star Talk will start you out from square one. So if you're somebody who's had experience in Chinese before, you'll be fine. I think the primary teacher is Zhang, but
There's 3 different teachers because they have 3 different levels. So we have
okay,
like
gotcha.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I know all the counselors personally, and I can tell you that they're all going to be they're going to be, you know, good to you. Make sure that they're not giving you anything that you're not prepared for. And we're all very experienced. I think if I remember right, myself and a guy named Jordan, who you'll meet when the program starts, I think we're the youngest of the group, and we're both seniors. So we're all very experienced in what we're doing. We know how it is when you come in with some experience or come in with no experience. We have definitely dealt with both of those. So there's no need to worry about coming in if you're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions that are on your minds?
Okay, so I don't want my questions to sound stupid, even though
no, there's no stupid questions
because I'm sure somebody else is probably thinking the same thing.
Okay, so I know the other day you sent out this little thing and we had to say whether or not we completed admissions or something. I forgot how it was worded. But I was thinking, I was like, I think I have, because on my way to getting the email, hold on, I'm not saying this right. Before I got the email for Star Talk, I kind of applied, but I didn't like officially apply for Ole Miss summer school. So I don't know if I'm like, I don't know how to say it. I don't know if I completely applied.
So are you asking if you're admitted to Ole Miss, if you're a Star Talk applicant? Yeah. So you did. If you are one of our candidates, then you are definitely already admitted to the university. So you will be able to get college credit for your participation. So, and if you wanted to switch over to summer college, you could.
Okay, thank you so much, because I was like, oh no, I don't know if I applied. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
I can check. I'll check afterwards just to confirm that for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, All right. Other questions? You guys have asked so many good ones tonight. I'm sure the people who are watching the recording are grateful to you for asking the things they had on their minds.
This may seem like a bit of a selfish question, but I really wonder if I know there's a library, but how far is the library from where we'll be staying?
Not but like a 5-minute walk, not even that. The library is basically on the dead center of campus. So the one beauty of RC South is that it's in a little corner. So pretty much everywhere where you're walking is going to be the same distance. I think the furthest walk I ever had to do when I was actually on campus doing work was like 10 minutes. And that was an extreme example. So you can get to the library in 5 minutes from where you're living.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. And then may I ask about scholarships? Just in general, how does that work?
Sure. So we have ACT scholarships or SAT scholarships, and those are just like, we look at your GPA that you sent us, we look at your test scores, the transcript and stuff, and we go, okay, she's getting one. You don't even need to apply for it, right? So,
okay.
And you can, I think there's a breakdown of scholarships on the website. I'll look for that in a second, or Ari can look for it, and we'll drop it in the chat so you can see like how that works. If you were going, well, you know what, I could use some assistance, financially. In addition to that, you can apply using our financial aid application. And if you just go to like the main, like pre-college website, just Google Ole Miss pre-college. And the left, you'll see a little button that says financial aid. You click on it, scroll down, or actually, at the very top, summary financial aid by application. Click on it, and then it'll take you through that process. And you don't need to provide tax forms if you don't have them. You can use tax stubs or pay stubs. You can use a variety of other things for that. So financial aid is available for all of our programs. And like I said, some of it, the ACT, SAT stuff, it's just automatic. We just give it to you. I mean, you could say no, but we'd still give it to you.
Hi, I'm
Thank
Mom.
you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Mom. I had a question. I thought I heard earlier where you mentioned that even with the Lot 9, they would have to have books or purchase books for the classes.
No, for Lot 9, they will not have to. The teachers are really great about identifying, like, usually we would hand them books when they're here, but we won't. We'll have PDFs for them. We'll just scan a
Good.
bunch of stuff. So it will be, yep, no cost to them other than their one little, fee that they pay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Good question. What else do you want to
Hello.
Hey.
I was asking, I'm Josiah Tonkus. I was asking that if you are a driver and you have your own vehicle and you're going to drive to the school for the program and stay, would you be able to go off campus to do other type things and come back?
No, not this year. You'll just leave your car on campus. You'll get a parking permit, and we'll tell you how to do that. And then you would just leave your car on campus. And then at the end of the program, you can take your car and go. But because we're doing our bubbling thing, we don't want people taking off-campus excursions. Sorry about that. Other questions?
Yeah, you may have already answered it, but I'm just maybe I missed it. If someone will have tabs on these students the entire day,